Furia and Heroic in the semis, G2 out in last place, Nico having his worst event ever, Liquid getting knocked out by Faze. Here are takeaways for every team at IEM Rio.
It's so close, but he's just about got it. What a round from Pain.
Pain might be disappointed with their last place finish, but honestly, I have no negative things to say about them. You lose 13-11 in a BO1 against Mouz, a Mouz that's back in form, by the way, and then draw Faze and lose in 3 maps. I'm never gonna clown on a team for losing to Faze. And their newest and youngest player, Snow, had multiple highlights in that series, a 1v2 on Dust 2, and on map 3 Nuke. He single-handedly won them around on the B bomb site. With the limited time they had, he genuinely played that perfectly, and I just love what I've been seeing from him recently, especially his energy too. When they run around and he starts screaming, that shit gets me hyped up. Maybe if there was a different map 3 in that Faze series, they could have won, but after the first half, it was just painfully obvious. You get it? That Faze was just the better Nuke team. A 6-6 half when you're starting CT is obviously not ideal, and they just couldn't get anything going on the T side. And considering it's their second most played map over the past 3 months and their second best win rate, that's a little concerning. But like I said, I'm not going to clown on you for losing to Faze. Stats-wise, Lux was their best player, with Snow having the only positive KD. Not really sure you can take too much from that. You just kind of take this tournament at face value and move on.
Would guess maybe they've given us more value than Rare Atom could have. I mean, who knows? They did just get eliminated.
Imperial's almost in the same boat as Pain, except for some reason, I just feel more pessimistic with them. I know they weren't even supposed to be at this tournament. They just filled in last minute. Even still, like, I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm just a hater. But like, they lost 13-2 to Navi, then losing 3 maps to Complexity. I get the first 2 were close, but map 3 was just a blowout. Vinny did have kind of a sick 1v2 on 5 health on Vertigo, but winning a clutch against Complexity is like winning a race against a kid in a wheelchair. They might actually be the best team in Counter-Strike history to just throw away rounds. Try was the only player above a 1 rating. HLTV literally just dropped a new rating system after I already recorded this, so all of the stats that I bring up are going to be wrong. I think all of them dropped a little bit. I'm not dyslexic, they're just genuinely different numbers now. So that's why what I say and what's in the pictures is going to be different. That's all. Back to the video. And like, I don't want to keep piling on, but how do you go down 3-9 starting T side on Anubis? I know I'm being really negative here. Here's what I'll say. I don't hate this team, but if they don't make it through the RMRs, blow this thing up.
Why did it go so badly on Mirage?
He can't kill anybody.
The 3rd South American team in a row. I don't know what black magic was going on at this event, but somehow Furia soaked up every South American team's powers and put it all into their team. Kind of like the Monstars in Space Jam, which has left us with 3 out of the 4 South American teams finishing in last place. I've really been trying to hold back on 9Z. I want the team to be good, but you lose 13-3. I know it's against Vitality, but getting blown out by anyone is brutal. Then in map 3, you lose 2-13 against VP. I'm sorry, but you cannot get blown out by 2024 Virtus.Pro, man. The good news, DGT and Martinez are still beasts. I don't know what's been going on with Huaso Peak. He had a 1.09 rating for the first like 7 months of the year. The past 3, he has a 0.99. He has to start popping Adderall or something. Just try anything at this point, because you cannot get away with just dropping 0.74s at events. Even worse was Budo with a 0.71. I don't know a ton about Max as a caller, but he's been with this team since 2020, and there have been a lot of up and downs with this team since then. I'm guessing they'll just keep riding it out with him. And honestly, maybe the expectations for this team are just a little high right now. Or to be honest, that could just be me. I expect them to be better than this. But after their IEM Dallas run, they jumped from 40th in the world all the way to 13th. I've been looking at them as like a tier 1.5 team, but it's looking like they're more of a tier 2 team with 1 great event.
They have a lot of flaws and holes in their game that they need to work on, and when they win most of the time, it's due to the individuals.
Guys, what was that? It takes incredibly talented players to be rated below Snacks. Snacks! Big Apple Hungry Snacks was almost a decade ago. We're talking about 2024 bot Frank Snacks. Nico! Hunter! How? You were the 2 lowest rated players in the entire event. Nico, this was your worst event in history. You were supposed to turn into this after you joined Falcons, not while you're still on G2. This is basically confirmation Hunter's going with him. How else can you be this clocked out? These are the kind of results you get when you build a team like G2 did. When you are so heavily reliant on individual firepower, yeah, you'll win one tournament and then you'll come out last place in the next. It makes for an exciting team, but not a consistent one at all. Like, obviously, G2 are a very good team. This was just one off event. I'm sure they'll be back in the next. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't want G2 any other way. I'm sure this is just exhausting for G2 fans, but I don't think anyone can argue they are the most entertaining team to watch in CS because they're so incredibly volatile. Watching them when they're good is so much fun because their individuals are just incredible, but at the same time, watching them melt down is also entertaining in a way. You just never know what you're gonna get with them, and especially with a personality like Nico, who emotionally has such high highs and low lows. It's like we're watching a reality TV show at these events. So I mean, their situation probably isn't great for the org or the players or the fans, but shit, it's alright for me. So G2, please do not ever build a team like Astralis or Navi. I just keep doing what you're doing, it's great.
Which is bounce back after a map 1, and they clearly were not really locked into that game. It felt like a very flat Team Liquid on Inferno.
We need to have a real conversation here, guys. Kerrigan is your daddy. Mouz hit 18, they moved out of Kerrigan's house. To replace them, Kerrigan adopted Liquid and Twist. 0-6 against Faze in 2024 now, boys. Even more concerning than this, Ultimate's second event in a row with a negative rating. It's just a little slump, guys. No need to worry, okay? Right? Despite all of this, I still think Liquid's a very good team. They brought Navi to 3 maps, lost 13-11 on map 3. It was just unlucky they got Faze after that. Twist sold his soul to Faze for that major win. The trade-off is that he would always lose to them. I really do think if they didn't have to play Faze, they still would have made the playoffs, even with Ultimate underperforming. I really do think this team can be like a top 3-4 team in the world. I really do see the vision. Unfortunately, they'll never be taken seriously with Yakinder on the roster, but I love all their other pieces, especially if Ultimate returns to form soon. They destroyed Complexity in the BO1 they played. Just like Kerrigan's their daddy, they are Complexity's daddy. Steel replacing Yakinder when he gets unbanned is gonna hit like crack.
Not going to be an enjoyable end for Complexity, unfortunately. They just lacked in the important situations.
I mean, yeah, I don't have much to say. This is about where I expected them to finish. Team's pretty mid, and it seems like they're fine with being mid. I'd say Complexity's just like the benchmark for tier 1 teams. If you can beat them in your current form, you're probably tier 1. If not, you're probably tier 1.5 to 2. This team just makes me so mad, man. Like, they're good enough to where they don't want to make a change, so they're just staying stagnant. They're basically just role-playing as a tier 1 team, which is cool, man, like if that's what you're okay with doing. But it's actually impressive the round advantages they throw, the overall rounds they just throw. They're a very undisciplined team, and a lot of that falls back on JT and TC. It's absolutely true that one of the best traits you can have as a leader is staying mentally composed, which it seems like JT always is. But at the same time, if you're letting your teammates around you tilt, Halzark slamming his desk after he misses his 4th op shot of the round, Elige mentally deteriorating with every event they play, at some point you got to be more strict with these guys and actually be a leader of men. They also need a roster change after the major. To me, this is the most boring team in CS right now. When Elige leaves, this team will be demoted to noun status.
VP, eliminate Astralis from Rio.
Damn, this Cadian move might really work out. 13-11 against EF? On Inferno, their second best map? Oh, not VP. Pack it up, gentlemen. Show's over. You get 2-0'd by the team you absolutely destroyed. 2-0'd by 2024 Virtus.Pro. I get it's still early, but fuck waiting for them to get better. They're bad now, and nobody but Astralis fans wants to see them succeed. So we gon' hate now. Down had his first positive tournament since the creation of the wheel. Good work, man. Still a negative KD, but we're taking steps in the right direction. Stairs still looked pretty good. But what I am interested in, we have to put a magnifying glass to Cadian and Device's performances. After the Blastfall finals, I said Cadian and Device would probably not gel very well. And after that event, Device had a negative rating. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Device dropped a fat 0.85 rating. In the 2 events he's played with Cadian, he has been absolute doggy. It could also be the post-IGL effect, something we know all too well about. Honestly, right now it's tough to say, but when this roster inevitably blows up in a few months, we'll probably hear more about why.
But in terms of the result itself, it's okay. It's Eternal Fire. They are an established top 10 team, but no more than that.
You know what, Eternal Fire? I'll look past this event. Okay, you lose a BO1 to Astralis. Losing to Astralis in any way, shape, shape, or form is tough, but it's a BO1, so I'll let it slide. And you have a little grudge rivalry against the Mongols. Listen, you can't win them all, you know? But you did manage to destroy G2 and make them finish in last place, which I think is pretty funny. Definitely a few bonus points for that at the very least. You definitely could have tried a little harder in that elimination match. Losing 13-2 and 13-4 is a little tough. Your entire team had negative ratings. After this, you play at ESL Challenger Katowice. Your opposition includes Saw, who just destroyed their roster, Pain, MIBR, Falcons, Bait, Monty, and Legacy. If you lose this, we'll start being a little more critical. Just win this and make it through the European RMR, will be fine, okay, guys?
A little bit of fatigue playing in. They were checked out, and I think, you hate to say it, but it kind of felt like they just gave up.
You guys also lost to 2024 VP and got knocked out. There's got to be some sort of virus going around. And they lost a map 13-3? Virtus.Pro must have hit all of their opponents with a dog shitinator. I don't understand. But I mean, to be honest, I don't really feel any differently about the Mongols after this event. They're a tier 1 team. They're good. In every single event they go to, they're going to be competing to make the playoffs. They're easily the best team in Asia. I don't think anyone really expected them to win this event. They're not really a sneak into the finals, win an event type of team. But you know, they're always going to be competitive for the most part. Their players all had positive ratings. Mizuno was their best player, which you love to see. I know Senzu is their star player, but if Mizuno can continue to steadily improve, that's how I see this team making a leap to the next level. He's already improved so much since being on this team. If he can consistently support Senzu at the top of the board, with 9-10 sometimes popping off, that's when I can see this team really get good. And hopefully that does happen. Tactically, Mongols are phenomenal. Blitz not only calls well, but he can frag. Techno had the worst rating on the team, but he was still incredibly impactful. I mean, in probably the map of the entire tournament against Vitality, and to be quite honest, the round of the tournament, Techno clutched a 1v4 with a 5-7 to bring Mongols into overtime. That's just simply one of the best clutches I've ever seen. All of these players do their roles on this team pretty well. This team's already great, but if Mizuno can be more consistent and kind of be that secondary star fragger, this team can be elite.
I mean, speaking of Brokey, I think it's not just like this series or this map, but overall this event, it feels like he doesn't know how to aim. And
I want to say FaZe looked better this tournament, but they lost to Mouz in the lower bracket finals. Prime FaZe would never lose to Mouz. Previously, they have sunned this team. What I will say is, at least the eye test, they looked a little better than they have been. I can understand losing a BO1 to Furia with their Black Magic Rio run, and then they pretty comfortably beat Pain and Liquid. I was actually really surprised they lost to Mouz. Rops and Frozen were both playing very well. Brokey was fine. For someone like Brokey, you obviously went higher than a 1.09, especially after his great fall finals performance. I was thinking he was back. Maybe I spoke a little too soon. Rain finished the event with a 0.88 rating, 0.1 below Kerrigan. He also had a negative 42 KD, kind of just a nightmare tournament. I have no idea how to feel about FaZe. Like, with this current roster, are they just a pretty good team now? I feel like they should still be able to just win tournaments, but we haven't seen that at all. All we can do now is wait and see how they perform in Shanghai. That'll determine the future of this roster.
No one really, played up to par, didn't follow the game plan, didn't communicate, didn't show up, didn't work together. If there's not a sound of a disjointed team, I don't know what is.
The first playoff team we're talking about. This tournament was a home game for Virtus.Pro. Rio Jame is a demon. I know I've been bullying them a little bit this video, but Norbert liked my tweet. I just hope he didn't check my profile and see my other tweet. So you know what, Virtus.Pro? Good work on overachieving this tournament. For as much slack as Electronic gets, he's actually been pretty good the past couple of events. That was once again the case for this tournament. It's good to see him playing well. I really do see the vision that VP has. The thought of Electronic, Flit, and Fame all being on their game and popping off while being supported by Jame and Norbert would just be cinema. Unfortunately, things are never that simple. Flit and Fame played well this tournament, but I wouldn't say they were popping off by any means. I really don't think Jame has the Kerrigan gene in him, where he can put all of these players in a place where they'll succeed. So I'm not sure this roster will ever see its ceiling, but at least in this tournament, VP showed why they're ranked in the top 10. Just don't bomb out of the RMR, alright, fellas?
For Apex, more disappointment. It is a quarterfinal exit. Another disappointing result.
result in 2024 for Team Vitality.
Guys, you cannot keep choking in the playoffs. Everyone thinks you're the second best team in the world. You cook people in the group stage. Why do you keep doing this? Zywoo 1.44 rating at this event. Sphinx a 1.14. Sphinx, why do you have a 1.06 as soon as you get into the playoffs? Now, of all times, you want to break even on KD instead of going positive? Flames, you played well on Mirage and Inferno. If only you didn't drop a 0.6 rating on Nuke, where, you lost 11 to 13. Yikes. Mezzy, you didn't have a great tournament, but you're the second best player in this Mouz series. Your reward is going to be getting kicked for gym fat in a few months. You guys are down 2 to 10 on the CT side of Inferno. You do know you're supposed to hold the sights, right? Why are you guys not competing with Navi for the title of every tournament you attend? You disappoint me.
7-0 in the hole. Heroic with all the momentum looking to run their way into the grand final. But Navi...
Ooh, Heroic plays G2 in the first round. That's an unlucky draw, guys. This is going to be another brutal tournament result for you. Okay, you destroy G2. The final score makes it look way closer than it actually was. Tesses stole all of Nico's aura. G2's probably just tired from Blast. Whatever. Absolute cinema game. Astralis Heroic will always be must-watch while they have these current rosters. But I mean, Astralis decimated this team and took their best players. There's just no way. Okay, Heroic. I've been extra critical of you, but you're looking damn good right now. But I mean, now you have to play Zywoo and Vitality. Good luck. Holy shit, you're the goddamn goats. Now you have to play the best team in the world. It's been a great run, but holy shit, they won map 1. Oh my god, they have a 9-3 half in map 2. Props to you guys, Heroic. You're looking, dear lord. Guys, that is a tough one. I don't even blame you for getting destroyed on Mirage. My mental would be gone too. I have nothing but praise for Heroic, man. This was a great result for them, even if they did choke a lead against Navi. Of course, that sucks, but this is the best result we've seen with this roster, and I really do hope they keep it up. Every fiber in my being wants Heroic to be a good team, and I've been extra critical of them just because I've been disappointed. This tournament's what I've wanted to see, though. Tesses looked unstoppable until they played Navi. Nerds dropped a 1.25 this tournament. That's my rookie of the year. Dexter looked better. Still not CSGO Dexter, but above CS2 level Dexter, I'd say. I haven't been a huge fan of Kixen either on this team. And to be honest, I really can't tell you whether his calls were better this tournament or if just the individual level of the players was better. So at least for me, jury's still out on Kixen. But overall, great stuff. I really hope they keep it up.
And for Furia, they will awake tomorrow, and this nightmare will be a reality.
Alright, I'm just gonna copy and paste the same Heroic bit for Furia.
Yeah, Furia's pretty mid. I said they probably can't make it past Faze. What the crap? They beat Faze 13-7? Wow. They also are beating Mouz. Holy crap, they completed the beating. But now they're playing the best team in the world, Native Sincere? Surely not, right? Holy freaking giblets, they beat them in 2 maps. And one of them was 13-4.
Honestly, great showing from Furia overall. Well, until we get to the playoffs, back-to-back 13-3s. The black magic wore out by this point. Just get buddies out of there. They're not built for this. What I will say, though, Gelato looked like a top 5 player this tournament. He was deadass incredible. Actually elite. A 1.39 rating, and that's with the blowout in the playoffs, where he only dropped a 0.79. If you take that out, it goes up to a 1.56. He would have easily been the best player at the entire event. Instead, he sits at number 2 right behind Zywoo. Still great. This may have just been the Rio buff, but if this is the Gelato we get going into Shanghai, they can do some damage. Along with Gelato, Skulls didn't have an incredible rating, but I feel like he had crazy impact, especially in that series against Navi. He had a crazy 1v3. He got an ace against them on an eco round. That is genuinely incredible. Yuri was a pretty good secondary rifler to Gelato, and I don't mind Fallen as a caller. I mean, he is really weak as their main opper, but you could do a lot worse than him. Mainly Gelato and Skulls, though, man. If they can cook, this team can cook.
One champion, one opportunity, and we're getting into this best-of-5 grand final, Navi versus Mouz on Inferno.
What do you get when you combine studio merchants with a team that can struggle in BO5s in front of crowds, a movable object versus a stoppable force? You get a pretty damn good finals, to be honest. Map 1 was great. Dust 2 was a little brutal, but after that, Mouz kind of decimate on Mirage, and you're like, there's no way, right? And then Mouz go up 10-2 on Ancient, and you're like, holy fuck, this is gonna happen. No way Navi choked this away. And you'd be right, they did not. As soon as they switched to CT side, they just put up a complete brick wall and go on an 11-1 run to win the map 13-11. That last round 1v1 was so tense, I was tweaking in my chair. One thing was made very clear with this finals though. Not only is Navi the best team in the world, they're looking to make the first CS2 era. 6 finals in a row. They win 3, they lose 3. If they win Shanghai, they're absolutely the first era. No questions about it. The 2015 Fnatic of CS2. Not only is there zero argument for any BO5 curse now, Wonderful played great in these finals. And he was the one getting called out for consistently choking. We have nothing left. Nothing left to critique them about. Those 2 things were all we had. So congratulations, Navi. Not only are you the undisputed best team in the world, the only 2 question marks you had have been answered. You are simply just one tank of a team. Now that I'm done gurgling on their balls, let's talk about Mouz. I'm happy for Mouz. It looked like they were falling off, and they looked a lot better this tournament. Sui said they were going to start trying a different style, and that shit worked. It worked so well, they even got past their father Faze and made it all the way to the finals. To be honest, how much more can you say about Sui, man? He is easily the best young IGL we have in the scene, and it is not close. To go in a slump like that, look at your game plan, say, all right, we got to switch some things up, make a completely different style for your team to play, and succeeding that early? Actually unbelievable, IGL. That's the best thing that could have happened to boost his stock. If FaZe aren't bankrupt by the time Kerrigan retires, they'll offer him everything. And if they don't, I know a team with a little bit of Saudi money that will. We've only seen him work with young and unproven players though, so I don't know if a team of stars would really mesh with him that well. Along with Sui, Jimfad is the greatest player on this earth. Not only did he drop a 1.18 rating, the amount of rounds this dude clutched up is just absurd. Genuinely, all of his kills were impact kills. It was crazy. Then you have Torji. Of course, Torji played well. Zershin and Brolin did their jobs. They also played very well. Great stuff this tournament from Mouz. Good job, guys. That was takeaways for every team at IEM Rio. I also want to say thank you guys so much for the support in the last video. I know this one's a little different, a little less edited. I'm of course going to still be dropping videos like that, but they do take a little bit longer to make. But the next one is in the works. I'm still going to continue to recap tournaments like this as well. And at the end of the day, I'm just a fan of Counter-Strike esports. So just expect anything Counter-Strike related. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.